Hey guys, we're back with episode 3 of my Super Cub build. Today we're going to be talking about the build table and what I decided to do with that, as well as laying out the first side of the fuselage on the table, and we'll see how far we get with that. Let's start by talking about the table. You might have seen in the last couple episodes, I only had half the table done, so it's only 10 feet long, and the plywood on the top wasn't screwed down. Basically, I was never super happy with that table, how it came out, and that's why I never screwed the plywood down. It wasn't perfectly flat on the top, it wasn't perfectly level. Yeah, I just wasn't happy with it. So rather than building another one and then trying to butt those up against each other and get them perfectly flat and level somehow, I opted to go a different route with the table. I'll show you basically what I did with that. So here you can see I have a full 20-foot table completed. For the sides, to get those perfectly flat, instead of using 2x6s by 10, I ordered 2 of these I-joists from a local building supply here in town. They're about $60 a piece, plus a delivery fee, so a little over $200. But the way I look at it, it's kind of a small price to pay for the ease of building the table, as well as knowing that your table surface is going to be perfectly flat when you're done. So that's the way I went. I opted to go. Again, small price to pay for a flat building surface, and it would just really suck to not have your fuselage perfectly square, perfectly right. So I bought these instead of trying to use dimensional lumber from like Lowe's or Home Depot, which often isn't quite square, isn't maybe has a twist in it. So these are manufactured, they're perfectly flat, and this is what, like, if you have a house with a crawl space, this is usually what your floor is framed with, these I-joists. So they're really lightweight, they're really, really strong, amazingly strong, and there's 2 of them, one on each side. And then what I did was I took some 2x6s, cut them to like 3 feet, did 2 screws on the top, 2 screws into the lower cap strip, and then you can see there's one on the end, one on the end. So 3 on each side, 6 total. That I did it with only 6 legs because that means I didn't have too many legs to level out. And then what you can see on the bottom, see, I really should grab a flashlight for this, but okay, I'm back with a flashlight. So you can see what I did is I ordered these little leveler legs off of Amazon. 4-pack was like $17, and I ordered 2 4-packs. I have 8, 2 extra for what I need. But you can see there's 4 screws. They just screw into the leg, and then the top here, there's a hex nut and then a locking nut on the bottom once you get it set. And then you can see what I did is I colored, once I had it set and leveled, I kind of colored a Sharpie on there, so that'll tell me if those stop lining up, or if they don't line up one day when I come out, then I'll know something got, I will know that it's no longer level, and I'll have to adjust it. Let's see, the top, there's this was originally 4 by 8 feet by 3/4 inch thick, another panel, and then when I went to Lowe's the other day to pick up a third sheet to do the last 4 feet of this table, they had almost doubled in price. So instead of buying 3/4 inch oak plywood, I bought this, I don't know what you call this, particle board or something. It was like a third of the price of this stuff. So this is like $60 a sheet now, and this is only $20. And I didn't even need a full 4x8, but I did buy a 4x8 of this, so I have, you know, extra for some other project. And then yeah, it's pretty simple construction. Let's see, go down to the end. Oh yeah, one other thing I can show you is I inset these screws, so there's no, none of these screws are going to be sticking up. And I think I told you the table is a full 20 feet long. So what I did is on each of these pairs of legs, I ran one of these across 2x6s. And that's just to keep the legs from bowing out at the bottom, just so that it's sturdy. And then on the top cap strip, what I did is I ran a 2x6 that way, and I did that every 30 inches. So if you look all the way down the table, every 30 inches or so, there's a brace that goes across the top cap strip. All that does is make the table strong in the middle between the eye joists, so that it doesn't bow down in the middle or up, whatever. Just keeps it basically straight in the middle. So that's the table. I don't know what else to say about it. If you guys have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll try to answer those. But yeah, it was actually surprisingly easy to build a table like this. And then I guess I can talk about how I leveled it. That might be interesting to any of you out there wanting to know how to do a build table. What I did is, like I said, I screwed these leveler little feet on all of them. Surprisingly, the front side of my garage was quite a bit lower. So what I ended up doing was putting a little 2x4 and then another little like 1/2 inch thick block under the feet. So that's how much my garage slopes down in the front. And then in the middle and obviously the back. In the back, the feet are screwed almost all the way in to the shortest position. And then in the middle, they're screwed maybe halfway out or 2/3 of the way out. So, and then in the front, like I said, I have these blocks to lift it up in the front. So, how did I level this thing? You might be able to see that little mark. So I added that right about in the middle of this plywood everywhere. That was just a place to line up my laser level. So this laser level I also bought on Amazon a while back. So it's pretty sweet, and it's pretty handy. What you do is you screw it onto a tripod like you would a GoPro. You can see there as a little screw hole for the GoPro. And then you turn it on and it just shoots a laser line, so you can see that red laser going across like that. And this thing was pretty cheap. I want to say it was under 45 bucks. And then of course on the front there's a little lock, so you flip that so that the laser can kind of float freely. So you can see it kind of, once it stops moving, then you know that's your level point. But you want to keep it locked like when you're storing it. So I put that on this tripod here and shown it towards this, and it shot a line across. And what I did is I leveled all this one side first. So I got that perfectly level. And then I took this big level here and went sideways starting at this end. And since I knew, you know, this leg was set and I wasn't going to adjust this at all I had to do was bring that leg up till it was level here based on this bubble. And then all you do is you move it to the middle, level that other side, and then the other end, level that last corner over there. And then check it a few times, make sure you're happy with it. And then, you know, you're level. You can just set all the locking nuts on all these leveler feet. And that's really all there is to it. I mean, it was pretty dang simple. So for anyone needing to build a build table out there for a fuselage, I would highly recommend going this route. Spend the extra money, get these eye joists. It's well worth it. It's just way easier. So that's my advice. Let's move on. I think I'll cut to a time lapse now of me laying out the fuselage, and you guys can watch that. Alrighty guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe for new content and click the bell to be notified when I post a new episode. See you guys next time.